farmers, welcome back to Elm Creek. Month of October is here, which means it is time to harvest our olives. And our olives are doing good this year. Double fertilization, no weeds. I think they're good to go. Don't need to be subsoil or plowed. You can see our olives. Actually, it looks like there are more olives on the trees than what I remember them being before. So, fingers crossed I'll be getting a good harvest. Also, if we turn around, our fellow farmers are actually working in their fields a little bit. Hooray! Finally, the corn is gone over here. Same can be said for over there. That field over there was covered in lime for I don't know how long. No lime there whatsoever. Our fields, the barley fields, have grown, but they do have the first stage of weeds into them, and we're going to take care of that today as well. So harvest the olives, bring them over to our oil facility. What is it actually called? I hit tab by accident. I want to hit this button here. Our production facility, is that called oil mill? I don't know. And we'll make, of course, some olive oil with it. As for what else is going on, well, our bread, we got about actually 3,000 liters of bread at the bay ready to go. And we still got 5,000 liters of flour in storage. And as for our grain mill, I have turned off production, but we do have 16,000 liters of flour waiting to be picked up and brought on down to the bakery. I'll have to get that done. The greenhouse is doing what the greenhouse does, and everything else is deactivated because we just don't have the material to do so. Our cows are doing cow things. Not too much into the cows currently because of the whole Griffin, Indiana series. You know, cows, that's, you know, I'll get to them at some point. We're just trying things out over there. But if we go into the stats page, I mean, they're doing pretty darn good. Overall, their health is now 100% somehow. It skyrocketed up. The TMR is filling up nicely. I don't know what I got left over there. We shouldn't get no milk until they're of age. I'm guessing they got to reproduce before we get milk. That's what I'm going to assume that's what it is. Have no idea. So we'll just let that go on for a while, do what it does. The sheep are the sheep. The chickens are the chickens. Our modded chicken coop by Stevie. These chickens will start reproducing next month, so we'll start getting more and more chickens here, which means more and more eggs. But everything's doing great over there. Let's jump right into our olive harvester. And I jumped into the Landini. All right, let's see if I can do this correctly here. There we go. Fire this up, and now that I know how to actually unload, well, if we don't run into the post of the shed, that's never a good thing. Sneak on out. There we go. Have to get the John Deere and probably the trailer for the amount of, hopefully the amount of olives we're going to get today. Alright, so I kind of forgot, what do I need to do? I probably got to unfold it first of all. That's probably step number one. Alright, we're rising to the occasion. You can see the harvester rising on up. And that is pretty much it, I think. I think we're good to go. I still haven't got, you know, I didn't hardly use that much at all last season because, well, we only had about 3 rows. So trying to get it right down the center, driving from the back. Are we doing it? Yeah, we are doing it. So as I record this, I'm recording this on Saturday, and you should be seeing this on Monday. But a couple days ago, GPS is now available on the Giants Mod Hub. I have it in game. It's the same as it was in 19. It's $15,000 to install it. Probably the only thing I would use GPS for was when it comes to rock picking with a rock picker. So I'm in no rush to install it. I do have it installed, but I don't know if I'll ever get to it or not. As long as I don't get rocks in my own fields, I think I'm good to go. We will see later on. Already, I think I'm getting a good harvest of olives because on the first pass of the first row, I got 547 liters of olives, and that seems so much better than it was last year. I don't remember what it was last year, honestly, but the number seemed already higher. I don't think we actually filled a harvester last year with the 6 rows that we had, so it'll be interesting to see what we get for a harvest. But I need to start bringing in the cash. As we know, I got a $5 million loan. I know it's not about the loan, but I got to mention it because some people are like, well, you know, how are you going to pay off the loan? Yeah, we'll get there eventually at some point, I think. We have to start doing some contracts. I was looking at some things I could possibly do for contracts. I actually tried taking 4 fertilizing contracts today before I started recording, and every time I clicked on one, I went up to see if it was activated, and it wasn't there. So, there's that. Oh, and the other thing I want to bring up, because I was thinking about doing contracts, the contracts disappearing, is that a bug or whatever? If you have not seen the post from Giants, so if you're a console player and you haven't seen this post, yeah, get ready for this, but you may have already seen it or heard about it or know about it. Let me just read what they say. Thanks for reporting some issues with mods on console. We have identified the issue and we'll fix it with a patch later this month. Later this month. That doesn't sound... Unfortunately, we have to stop publishing mods on console until this point. No worries, we will continue to get the mods ready, and once the patch is deployed, we will be ready for... It will be ready. All the mods will be ready for you. We understand this is frustrating. Rest assured, we'll have this patch ready as soon as possible. So, yeah, I'm not really sure when it says they'll have a patch later this month. What is later this month actually mean? And usually Giants tends to go on a holiday break for Christmas and New Year's for a couple weeks. So I'm guessing that's when the patch will come out. Probably just before they go on holiday. Which I would assume, let's see, I'm recording this, what's today? All I know is today's Saturday. What's today, like the 10th or 11th of December? My guess is like on the 20th of December is when they'll go on holiday for a couple weeks. So we shall see. See what happens. So I would assume if you're on console, you're not going to get any mods until the next patch comes out, whenever that may be. And hopefully it's soon, because and hopefully when the patch comes out, we got a lot of the bugs fixed. Another thing I was going to bring up, I have seen a couple of autoloaders mods for the game. I tried one out, and I'm not going to use it because it's a little buggy. In-game it seems fine, but like when you go, if you have it installed, for me anyways, when I go into the shop, every time I go in the shop, there's like a bale, a hay bale in the shop, so everything sits on top of the hay bale. Just looks kind of weird. So as for in-game, it seemed to work okay for me. I tested it out, but in the shop, I kept having a hay bale. And just to let you know, you say, well, it might be a mod conflict. It's on my test save game, and that's the only mod I had on, was that one. So it's got to be that mod causing the problem, because there are no other mods, period. That's it. Nada. Zilch. But overall, inside the game, it seemed to work fine. Picked up pallets and whatnot. So like egg pallets, the pallets from greenhouses it would pick up, seemed to work okay. And the other reason why I don't want to get the link out is because I don't know if it's from the original mod author or not. But if you just want to do a search there, it is out there. Alright, so far, let's see, what row are we on? This is the 5th row. I keep thinking I got to get the row more, well, maybe it is more down the center. The cab just kind of throws me off on this. And like I said, when I bought this olive harvester last season, it probably would have been better if I actually leased it, because I could lease it probably like 20 times before I would actually, you know, we paid for it in full. It would have been nice if it came up in the used vehicle category at one point, but so be it, it did not. So here we are. So I've actually been thinking about buying some more land, but that would mean taking up more of a loan. No surprise there. But I think I'm going to kind of hold off. I mean, I do need some more equipment. Today we are going to lease a weeder. I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to lease that, but I was kind of hoping something will come up for sale. And since I'm only using it for one day, I'm just going to go ahead and lease it since it's not for sale. And maybe next season I might get myself a sprayer or just the weeder itself. But probably a sprayer, because we'll have herbicide anyways for the weeds for the olive grove that we got going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 6th row. And I can kind of tell you how many liters we got last season, because the amount of oil that we got at the oil mill. Whatever we have for oil, if we double it, that's the amount of olives we harvested last season on 6 rows. And this is the 6th row. So I kind of want to compare it here of how well we did once I finish this row. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we got 3,254. And if we go to our production building, olive oil, 633, so that's 1266. Yeah, because it's double. If I double the amount, yes, we got 1266 last year. Now we're up to 3254. That is one heck of an increase in production for taking care of the fields like I did this season. So definitely worth it. So I got to keep that on up. But the good news is we're gonna. I got like what, 8 more rows, so probably maybe 7,000. Can we get to 7,000 liters of olives? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think we can probably get to 7,000 liters. Not even halfway done, and we're at 35. So that's pretty good. And I really need to start selling things. The thing that's going to turn this farm around once they really get going are the chickens making the eggs that they are. I do have a good amount of eggs to sell today. The best price, unfortunately, is at the bakery, and I own that. So I cannot sell to myself, as far as I'm aware of. Is this, if I bring the eggs there, is this going to go into storage for the bakery? So I cannot sell those to myself. Kind of disappointing on that, but it is what it is. Before I go on down the next row, let's go get the John Deere. I'll turn this off. Yep, there we go. Magically teleport right on in. And I got lucky with this grain trailer. The grain trailer is really high, but it is just low enough for us to dump the olives in. Alright, cables attached. I almost drove. I could drive right across the barley field. I do want to do a little bit of test. Sorry, car. Not used to, stopping for traffic. Yeah, so no crop destruction in the first growth stage. We are fine. So by releasing the weeder today, we'll get rid of the weeds. Now the question will be, will the weeds grow back before it's time for harvest? I've been told yes and no. So I don't know. But we're going to pull them out instead of spraying them with herbicide. Alright, so I don't know how close I got to get, but let's get that close there. Perfect. We can unload into here. I'm like, that is going to go in, isn't it? I guess it's close enough. It's close enough. I'm going to have to move the John Deere and our Breitner trailer just because it's going to be in the way. It looks like we got the full load in there. I don't think my next door neighbor is going to mind me parking in his field. Although he does have a good amount of stones. Alright, let's turn this back on, get back to harvesting. Now I'm starting to get used to where the input is. Drive as straight as can be. So I'm guessing the grass in between the rows, I mean, we tried doing that. I think it was last episode. It's been about 4 days since I recorded last episode, so I should be almost caught up on most of the episodes. The only episode that hasn't aired since I recorded this is the previous one before this one. So all your comments I've been reading about and all that. So every little comment helps. Well, I should say most of them help. Sometimes, I'm getting wrong information, but maybe it's happened to you and not to others, but kind of like the comments, people saying that I had to cultivate the field before I got a second stage of fertilization down, even though I was talking about putting lime down. They said, "Oh, putting lime down is not going to work. You gotta cultivate the field." As we found out, you do not. Same process in 19. As long as you change the state of the field after you fertilized it. So I guess if you lime it, cultivate it, plow it, whatever you do, you just got to change the state once, and then you can re-fertilize it again. So also, I've been kind of keeping tabs on a couple of modders. I know there are a couple maps that are being tested currently. I don't want to mention their names yet because don't want people going hounding these modders of like, how you're doing or whatever. But I know of 3 maps currently. One I played on in 19, so that gives you a little bit of a hint which one it could be. I know that one is... wait, or is it 2 that I did play? No, just 1. I believe just 1 is in testing, so... slim chance I may go back to that one right away. But I don't know how I'd approach that map as of yet. We will see, but I mean, there's plenty to explore here still in Elmcreek. Got a ways to go. But it's been fun testing some things out here. Been learning a few things. And one thing I'm kind of learning is the production buildings right off the start, probably not worth it right off to start with, especially in hard economy. But I mean, once you get a good foundation of money and you just want something else to do, then production buildings could be your thing. Although I would like to see what happens once an update comes in Farming Simulator 22 with the economy and what they're going to do with that. If anything. I hope they do something, because the economy just seems to be a little bit off. Kind of thing that's getting me just a little bit. If you want to sit here and look at actually how much money I put into the olives so far and how much I've made on the olives so far, it can be a little bit depressing, but it is what it is. And I couldn't get it all into the combine, which is fine. I'll have to get the rest of the row here in just a second. But, I mean, 300,000-ish for the combine itself. The fields, if you want to count that. I mean, the trees alone, I think they were like, what, $6,000 a row? Something like that. Let's go ahead and dump those on in. Somehow they're going to go into the trailer. Don't ask questions. Then, of course, I bought the mill to go ahead and try to make more money off it that way, but it's going to take a while to actually see a profit return on the olives, it seems like. Unless they change the production and somehow I can do something else with the olive oil, like bring it to the bakery, which you think the bakery should have taken some kind of cooking oil of some sort. Don't quite understand that, but it is what it is. But as I did see a while ago when I just looked at the difference in prices from hard economy to medium to easy. I mean, if you're on easy economy, you're going to make your money back a lot quicker. I mean, we saw that. Like, for example, I think it was the eggs we're looking at. And on hard economy, we're getting like $1,700 that day for eggs. And on easy economy, I think the eggs were almost like $5,000. So, definitely a huge increase. Alright, I can turn off the harvester. Now the only problem is I'm in the row. I got to actually go to the end of the row to get out. So it might be wise when you do olive rows, only make them a certain length and like maybe leave a gap and then put more rows in. So last year we had, what did I say, like 1,266 liters of olives. Definitely a lot better this year, well, because we have more rows and we took care of our olives a little bit better. Not really like the way this looks when I dump them into here, but you know what? The way the money situation is here, I'm not going to go buy a shorter trailer just to make it look better. Alright, let's go ahead and fold up the combine, which means lower it down. It's kind of like the Case cotton harvester, the way it rises up to do that. I never used the John Deere cotton harvester, but that's something we could get into because we do own the fabric mill and the clothing tailor shop. So, I mean, that would benefit us in the long run, but those are expensive as well, as we know. I think the last I remember, the John Deere cotton harvester in 19, wasn't that like $500,000? And the Case one was a little bit cheaper, actually. I think that was like $400. All right, we don't really need to repair that at all. Yep, jump right into the John Deere. 8,024 liters of olives, so that's going to be 4,000 liters of olive oil, and currently olive oil is selling for 2,300. So basically, I'm going to get like 8,000, maybe $9,000 worth of olives here after being processed to olive oil, as the prices are today. Well, let's go drop this into our oil mill. Put some people in Elmcreek back to work because it's been deactivated for a while. So really, look about the amount of the trees I got down. I don't know if it's considered a lot. If it's not considered a lot, probably not considered a lot. But we got a good harvest of 8,000 with what we had. So other than getting more trees down, actually, let me sneak into here. And we'll come over to here. Kind of weird that the drop-off point is right next to the pickup point. Just got to be careful what you're doing there. Is that olive oil that's there? That's 1,000 liters of olive oil there. So actually, no, that's a lie what we got for our harvest last year. So that's 2,000 liters. So we got 3,000 something of liters of olives last year. Because for some reason, it doesn't count the 1,000 liters you have out on the pickup bay. So before I forget, let me come back into productions and let's activate this, and that should go into storing. So 16, so that's 32, 32.66, correct? 32.66 is what we got last year. Yeah, so maybe it's not as big as an increase as I originally thought. I'm trying to remember now what I had. Well, after I did 6 rows. I thought that was a huge increase when I was doing the math. I'm like, well, that's a really big increase. Not like it was in 19. That's in 22. It's a huge increase to take care of your fields. But I forgot we had 1,000 liters of olive oil out there, so that's 2,000 liters of olives to make that. Anyways, let's drop off our trailer. And this is how I park things. Just keep driving over the railroad tracks, and that way I don't have to back on up. Alright, let's go ahead and detach this and this. And now we'll just double check the store. This is what's on sale today. So, a slurry tanker. It's not even a sprayer. It's just a tanker to transport. That's liquid slurry. I'm not sure what that symbol is. That's a new one on me. So, that's for diesel fuel and, of course, a telehandler. But we're going in here and we're going on down to weeders, not sprayers. But we're going down to here and we're going to hop into here and we're going to lease this thing for, we'll just say $2,300. All right, let's go up and get the weeder and come on down and start taking care of our fields by taking out the weeds, because weeds will reduce your yield by 20%, I do believe, and I'll wait for the train. Well, this thing works as it did in 19. This should do the job for us. This weeder will pull out stage 1 weeds only, if I remember correctly. And that is what we have, is stage 1 weeds. Actually, GPS may be a little bit helpful here, but I think the way the weeds are, I can kind of see them in the field. You can see it's got a pretty decent working width. So let's go ahead and lower this down. And this should be taking care of the weeds behind us. And yes, you can see, well, I can see the difference. If you're watching this on a phone or something, you may not see the difference. Let me just jump on out here. So you can see right where we are, it's like 75% weeds. And if we go behind us, interesting, it still shows 25% weeds. That is interesting. Yeah, it looks like I got a weed right there. So it's not pulling out all the weeds? Alright, I'm kind of curious now. So what happens if I go back over the same spot I already did? Will it take out the rest of the weeds? Boy, they have changed this. Either they changed it the way they intended to, or it's kind of buggy, I guess. That seems to be the word at the beginning stages of FS22, where a lot of things seem to be a little bit off. Let me see. Another way I can check it. Let me go into... What does this page look like now? We are down here, and we go to here. And... it is still showing I got weeds. So... I mean, clearly I can see I don't have the weeds I had before. Okay, what is the classification? Let's see. Weeders pull out small grown weeds between crops, improving the field state. They can only be used in the first growing stages of crops. Okay, so this first growing stages of crops. It doesn't say of weeds, of crops. If I go to back, let's go back and go down to sprayers. Sprayers increase the harvest output of fields. Is there one for herbicide? Oh, no, sorry. Is there one for herbicide only? Because sprayers, the reason why it says it'll increase your output because you can do fertilizer or herbicide. So I want to try going on my neighbor's field for a second. Let me turn around. So I mean, yeah, like I said, if you're watching this on the phone, you might be able to see it. But mostly on the right-hand side, you can see there's a difference where I was, where the weeds are now gone. If I go over it again, so I'm not really watching where I'm driving. I'm kind of watching behind. Now if I go into this page here, the reason why it's showing a little bit of blue, that's where my tires are going, and I'm running over weeds. But the map is still showing I got weeds. So, I mean, we did go from 75% down to 25%. So, I mean, there's no need to go over it twice because it's not going to get rid of the other 25%. Do I just want to bite the bullet? Okay, so I'm going to do this field with a weeder. Because I already got it. And since money's not really an issue around here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lease a sprayer. Because we do got herbicide. And then I'm going to go to another field and spray that field with a herbicide sprayer to see if it gets rid of all the weeds completely. But for now, I'll continue with the weeder just to see how it does, and maybe, I don't know, maybe if I get the whole field done, the pink, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be gone. I think it's going to have, I'm going to have a headache is what I'm going to have, basically, by the end of this episode. The field will be in better condition. I'm getting the, like, 75% weeds down to 25%. But it definitely wasn't like the way it was in 19, to where as long as the weeds were in first stage, it would pull them up completely. Let's bring this over here, and I'm going to park this right here, the weeder that is. Can I detach that while it's unfolded? Ah, I can. Perfect. Alright, so let's go in here and we'll go to sprayers. And it doesn't really matter. Let's get a trail behind. No, we'll just get this one. Let's save myself a little bit of cash here. And let's go ahead and lease that for $17.59. And we do got herbicide here. Hopefully, it should be the same herbicide, but I don't know anymore. Watch out for traffic. Missed. So now the question is, will the Hardy sprayer with herbicide get rid of the weeds completely? I don't know. Now, the other field, even if this gets rid of the weeds completely, what I want to do is the field I just did with the weeder itself. I'm not going to spray that field at all because I want to see if the weeds come back, period, just by doing it with the weeder. And then we'll see if they come back with the sprayer. I believe these are both herbicide. And why? That's not herbicide. Or is that herbicide? I think the herbicide might be in that container. Wait, can I see what's in there? Herbicide. Alright. Thought I smelled herbicide. Alright, got to empty out this container here. So apparently I got a lot of fertilizer to use. There we go. Now we got ourselves some herbicide. The red cap on top is what fooled me. I'm used to seeing red and saying that's herbicide, blue would be fertilizer. Alright, let's go ahead and unfold our lovely little sprayer. Do I have the option to... Yes, you can change the width on the sprayer just like you can on the Bredal spreader. Can I raise and lower the boom as well? Now, usually you just want the boom... it doesn't really matter in Farming Simulator, at least I don't think so. You just want the boom just above the crop. You don't want to raise it too high because you want to make sure everything lands on the crop. Before we start, are we at 75% in this field too? Yeah, so 75% weeds on the field, just like it was on the other field. Now, the weeder brought it down to 25%. So by spraying herbicide, the weeds I can see are dying instantly. Let me turn that off so I'm not wasting any herbicide by sitting here. Well, that's worse. Because now I still got 50% weeds in the field. Getting rid of weeds in 22 is frustrating. Is herbicide only getting rid of... let's go back to this page here. What are we looking at here? If I go to this page, and it showed me no weeds there. But the field info, yeah, let me do some more here. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here in Farming Simulator 22 with all the stats and everything. So the field's telling me I got 50% weeds still, compared to when I did it with the weeder in the other field, which brought it from 75 down to 25. But according to this, I'm bringing it down from 75 to 25 with a herbicide sprayer. But on the field page, on the PDA, it showed me no weeds in the field. I'm not really sure what to say, what you should be doing at all with your fields. So now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my other two fields. If I go by the PDA, where it showed me no weeds in this field, I should herbicide spray it. But if I go with the percentage by me walking the field, I might want to use the weeder. And then we don't know if the weeds are going to grow back yet or not. I mean, some of you probably have already done this testing, or maybe you watched someone else do a video on this kind of a thing. I have no idea. But I guess we'll find out all together. I don't know. Maybe with the herbicide, so maybe this is what could be happening right now, is the PDA showing me, yeah, there's no weeds in the field, but when I walk in the field, we do know it says 50%. Maybe the herbicide is going to take time to kill the remaining weeds that are in the field. But the PDA is showing me, don't worry, the weeds will die. Kind of like the way I am on the inside. I'm dying on the inside right now. Yes, I'm not really sure what to expect. So we got field A, which is over there. I did with the weeder. This will be field B, or we can just call them by what field numbers they are. But I don't know the numbers right off the top of my head. But you know what I'm saying. We'll just keep track. I'm not going to do any more weeding in that field. And after I spray this field, I'm not going to do any more weed control in this field at all. And we'll see how the weeds progress after the first growth stage of the crop. I don't know what to expect. But I got to take care. I was like, maybe I'll wait, but I can't wait because next time the crop grows and I go in there with the John Deere tractor, since I don't have narrow tires, I will do crop destruction and I'll lose some of the crop. Yeah, not too sure. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the weeder on the other two fields that I have. One's a small field, so it's not going to matter much. And then, of course, I got that field right there. The reason I'm going to go with the weeder, one, it doesn't cost me herbicide to spray in the field, so I'll save on herbicide. And two, I'm just going by when I walk in the field that shows that I'm down to 25% instead of 50. But I'm not sure. I don't know if, like I said, if I should be going by the PDA or by the field info page. I don't know. And then by the time I do all this testing and Giants comes out with an update, maybe I'll fix this problem. Who knows? So with the job being done, we walk in the field. You can see the field info page is showing 50% weeds left in the field. Unless I get to an area where I ran over it with a tractor and remove the weeds completely, it's down like, we'll say 0%. But we go to the PDA, it's showing no weeds whatsoever. And the field that only has 25% weeds everywhere is showing I got weeds there. So we shall see. But the sprayer has been returned. I now got the other weeder on the back of the John Deere. The last thing I do want to do, and like I said, money's not really a thing on this Let's Play. I'll just keep adding it in. If I pay off the loan, I pay off the loan. If I don't, I don't. Not that big of a deal. But I do want to show off the GPS in Farming Simulator 22. I have not used it yet myself, so it's going to be kind of interesting. How big is this trigger for this work area? Is that going to be able to trigger it in? And hopefully it is. Oh, wow, that's a big trigger area. Thank you for that. Customize, and if we come on down here, GPS, it does cost $15,000, which I got enough to cover it today, which is good. And let's go ahead and customize it. So now we got GPS on there for $15,000. Does everything detach off? It does. So that's still a thing. So yeah, if you go to customize your vehicle, anything you had on the vehicle will pop off. All right, so we're good to go there. All right, so I wonder if the controls are all the same. Let me get the weeder pulled up here. We don't want that rotting on the ground. Let's bring up the HUD. Hire a worker. Select camera. Cruise control. Okay, so it's not showing me in the HUD anything about the GPS. Oh, there we go. So you gotta have the tool on the John Deere, and it says Alt-C for toggling GPS. So it's kind of the same as before, I think. Hopefully the controls are the same. But I haven't used GPS in 19 in a while either. Okay, I'm hitting Alt-C. And I don't see where it's doing a darn thing. Oh, I apologize. It does show in the bottom right-hand corner. It does. Okay. Okay, it's still coming up. Alright, now give me a moment to try to remember. Alright, so yeah, once you got GPS turned on, I was hitting Alt-S, and it's actually Control-S to get into your settings. Is working with this 30 meters wide? I'm not too sure. Enable guidance steering on. Will show lines on. Line offset. I would like line offset to be 0. It says 0 there, but here it says 0.25. Offset reversal. Headland mode. Stop. Headland activated distance 9. I'll leave it there for now. I can see the line now. Yep. I see the line. Let's get back onto... It won't unfold because someone didn't attach the hydraulic hoses to it. That's always helpful. Alright, now will you unfold? There we go. And is the working width of this 30 meters? Let's go to the store page, I think. Oop, right here. 15.2. Alright, so it's 15.2 meters. Which could be 30 feet. Is that right? Actually, I think it's 45 feet, right? Alright, well, if we just hit auto width, brings it to 49.84. So I finally think I got the line set up. It's the same as it was in 19. So if you use it in 19 and use it a lot, you remember. But I haven't used it in a while in 19 myself. So I had to remember how to get the line back up and to activate it on the GPS, and it's Alt-X to get the GPS to actually activate. I had it turned on, but I didn't have it activated. So now I don't have to drive at all, and it's going to go in a perfectly straight line that I set up for it. So it might be a little bit off, but that's fine. Auto width seems to be working perfectly. Now, when I get within 9 meters of the end of the field, I think it should beep at me like it did in 19. I assume that's what it's going to do. Just have to wait till we get to the end. Now, GPS I probably won't use, like I said, unless I'm picking up rocks, because that was kind of hard to determine where you actually have been. But as for the weeds and everything, not that difficult as far as I can tell. And there's the beeping sound, let me know I'm getting to the end of the field. And once I turn my steering wheel, it should deactivate just like it did before. And then if I turn around, you can see the white line. The white line might be hard on the phone. Now if I hit Alt-X, why won't that? There it goes. Maybe it wasn't close enough to the field itself. And we are weeding the field. So, there's your GPS mod. I didn't check to see if it was available on console, but like I just read to you at the beginning of the episode, mods on console will not be available until there is a patch. So, hopefully, for you and for everyone involved, there's a patch sooner than later that fixes some of these issues that we're having. As for the weeds and doing the weeding, I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. You've been seeing what I've been doing here. So, the weeder is what we're doing. The main good thing about the weeder is it doesn't once you buy it or lease it, whatever, you're not paying material like herbicide to get rid of it constantly. You're just pulling up weeds, but it's got to be done in the first growth stage. Herbicide, you should be able to do it anytime, anywhere, I think. That's the way it used to be, but 22 could be different. But as we're seeing, when we walk in the field, I'm taking the weeds from 75% down to 25% with the weeder, but the PDA shows weeds still in the field. Herbicides going from 75 to 50%, but going to the PDA, it shows no weeds in the field. And that leaves me with no idea what the heck is going to happen. So, time will tell what's going to happen. That's all I can say. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish off weeding this field here. Then, of course, I got the other one to do as well. Will not take me that long to do. Oh, yeah, just pull me nice and straight. Good to go. Yes, once I get done weeding, I'm going to return this back to the store as well. I got some fertilizing contracts that are showing up, so hopefully when I accept them, they don't disappear. All the good paying ones I had this morning before I started recording, of course, those are the ones that I accepted and they disappeared. I still have the contract for doing the baling / silage bales in the big grass field right behind us in field 71. That might be next episode that we do that. I'm waiting for the wrapper to come up for sale, but it seems like lately the stuff coming up in the used sales department area is stuff I'm not even looking forward to I'm not even looking at, basically. It's all, I don't want to say junk. One man's junk is another man's treasure, but to me, that's junk today. I don't need none of that stuff. I need a lot of stuff. The one thing I do need is cash. So I may have to borrow a little bit more cash. Don't know. I may just get rid of the loan completely. That way I don't have to talk about it and whatnot. Because like I said, this series is not about the money. It's just trying things out and seeing what FS22 is offering us. And currently right now it's offering me a bottle of aspirin because Things are acting a little bit weird here. That's for darn sure. But yeah, let me know if you've done some weeding and what your experience is. And I don't know. Basically, I don't know what to expect from the weeding. But the olives harvest went rather well. 8,000 liters of olives, so we'll get 4,000 liters of olive oil. And basically, for the price they're selling for, I'll probably get $9,000 worth of olive oil out of it. Which to me, olives on hard economy, that's going to take a long time to get your money back. I'm guessing I probably put down, I don't know, let's see, it was like 5,000, probably like $75,000 to $80,000 worth of olive trees. So at that rate, it's going to take me years just to get money back on the trees itself, let alone all the money I'm putting back into it, like the Landini tractor, the subsoiler, the herbicide I got to put into it, the fertilizer I'm putting into every year, the harvester I'm putting into it. Yeah, this as for a moneymaker, I'm not seeing it on hard economy. Whatever. The chickens are definitely worth it. It seems like to me that's the way we're going. Anyways, I've been rambling on way too much. I'm going to get rid of these. I don't want to say get rid of these weeds. I'm going to manage these weeds. Basically is what I think I'm doing. And yeah, next episode we should be into November. And hopefully maybe doing a baling contract. If not, cutting our own grass again. I haven't checked the status on our grass field to know if the grass has grown back or not. So we'll be doing something in November. As for what, I don't know. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Elmcreek. But until then, have a good one.